عن حذيفة بن اليمان رضي الله عنهما قال كنت مع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فبال فتوضأ ومسح على خفيه مختصر. This chapter, ya ikhwa, ya akhawat, is the chapter where we learn wiping over the socks. And ya ikhwa, there is leather socks, there is terminologies that it is befitting for the Muslim to know. There is something called khuf, and there is something that's called jawrab. And there's something that the ulama use called jarmuq or jarmuqain. Khuf is leather socks, the socks that we wear that are leather, that you see. A jawrab is the cotton socks. And so when we use these ahadith, or when we go over these ahadith, ya ikhwa ya akhawat, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam masaha, he wiped over khuffaini, two leather socks. Tamam? And then we go into the mas'ala of, can you wipe over your socks that are cotton? عن المغيرة رضي الله عنه ابن شعبة, he says كنت مع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم صلوا عليه اللهم صل وسلم على نبينا محمد. He says, I was with the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم في سفر, I was with him during his travels. فأهويت, and then this hadith, ya ikhwa ya akhawat, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he went out, now he's making wudu. He says فأهويت, I went down لأنزع خفيه, so I can take off his two leather socks. فقال, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, دعهما, leave them, don't take them off. لماذا يا رسول الله؟ فإني أدخلتهما طاهرتين, I put them on while I had complete tahara. فمسح عليهما, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he wiped over them too. Now ya ikhwa ya akhawat, the asl is washing your feet. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in ayatul wudu in Surah Al-Ma'idah, he tells us, wash your feet. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu idha qumtum ila salati, the ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he mentions the things that you should wash, and from them is the feet all the way to your ankles. Now the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is telling us and showing us from his fi'l, his action, that you can wipe over socks, leather socks of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But there's conditions to it, ya ikhwa ya akhawat. When can you wipe over these socks? How should you wipe over these socks? What kind of socks can you wipe over? How much time do you have? When does the timing start? All of that, this is something that we learn in Kutub al-Fiqh, inshallah, and we will go over it tonight. But let's read the hadith of Hudayfa. Hudayfa ibn al-Yaman radiyallahu anhu, he says that I was with the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam fabala. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he used the bathroom, he urinated. Fatawadda'a, and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he made wudu. Wa masaha ala khuffayhi. This is a long hadith, and he wiped over his socks. Now ya ikhwa ya akhawat, ulama al-Shafi'i, they say there are three conditions that allow you to wipe over your leather socks. Three conditions that allow you to wipe over your leather socks. The first condition is, ya ikhwa ya akhawat, you have to have complete tahara. Meaning, before you put on these socks, you have to have complete wudu. Every limb that you're supposed to wash, you have to wash them. Tamam? The second condition for you that allows you to wipe over these socks is, it has to cover the area that it is wajib for you to wash. It has to cover the area, your feet all the way to your ankles. So if you are wearing socks that are under your ankles, you're not allowed to wipe over them. And ulama al-Shafi'iyya, ikhwa ya akhawat, they add to this and they say, if you are wearing socks, leather socks or cotton socks that are ripped up, you're not allowed to wipe over them. And the other one, the ulama al-Shafi'iyya, they say, يمكن التتابع المشي عليهما. بمعنى, you're able to walk with these socks. It is socks that are not too big. When you're walking with them, it doesn't come off. You can go to the store and come back. It is qawi, it is strong. These are the three conditions that ulama al-Shafi'iyya say that allow you to wipe over the socks. The first one is, when you're putting on the socks, you have to have complete tahara. If you make wudu and you put your socks on before washing your feet, you don't have complete tahara. Complete tahara means making tahara completely, including your feet all the way to your ankles. The second condition is, they have to cover the area you're supposed to wash. Now we're talking about shoes also, and we're talking about leather socks. And the third condition, ya ikhwa ya akhawat, is you have to be able to walk with them. Ulama al-Shafi'i, they say, if you're wearing socks that when you go out to the parking lot and they rip, or you're not able to travel with them for a day or two, or for 3 days and they rip, ulama al-Shafi'i, they say these socks are not allowed for you to wash, unless they are muna'arin. The second mas'ala we have to talk about, ya ikhwa ya akhawat, is when are you allowed to wipe over these socks. There is a khilaf between the ulama. ولكن علماء الشافعية, they say the timing, the 24 hours or the 72 hours, they start when you break your wudu. Tamam? Let's say a person, he wakes up at 7 o'clock and he makes wudu and he puts on his socks. He goes throughout his day, around 11 o'clock he breaks his wudu. From 11 till 11 the next day, 24 hours, as long as he doesn't take off his socks, he is able to wipe over his socks. There are ulama that say this timing starts when you wipe over the socks. And this khilaf has athar. Meaning, let's say a person, he breaks his wudu at 11 o'clock. But he starts wiping, or he wipes his socks at 1:30. The 24 hours that he has starts at 1:30. ولكن والراجح, and the opinion that ulama al-Shafi'iyya take is that the timing, the 24 hours or the 72 hours start when you break your wudu, regardless of you wiped or not. The other mas'ala, ya ikhwa, ya akhawati, that we should talk about in regards to wiping over the socks is the timings. When a person is a resident, meaning when he is not a traveler, when he is a muqim, he only has 24 hours. The hadith of Ali radiallahu anhu, 24 hours, 5 salawat. And when he is a traveler, ya ikhwa, ya akhawati, this person has 72 hours, 3 days and 3 nights. As long as this person doesn't come with something that obligates janaba, we all know. Or he takes them off. Once you take off the khuf, you're not allowed to wipe over them. Now, can you wipe over your socks? The socks, the cotton socks that we wear. If we're following the madhab of Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala and the understanding of ulama al-Shafi'iyya, the socks that we wear that are cotton, they are not allowed for you to wipe over them, because of the conditions that the ulama al-Shafi'iyya understand from the ahadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Number one, ulama al-Shafi'i, they say the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he never wiped over jawrab. He wiped over khuffayn. All of the hadith that you see, and there is one hadith in Abu Dawood, but ulama al-Shafi'i, they give they have their evidences for it. They say the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he never wiped over jawrab. And the hadith, if we take it to be sahih, they say it was jawrab that were muna'alayn. The other dalil that they give, ya ikhwa, ya akhawat, or the other evidence that they have is the socks that you are wearing. If they are cotton, they have to be able, or you have to be able to walk with them for 24 hours or 72 hours. If you were to travel with them, they have to be socks that are qawi, that you that will last long. The socks that we wear, if you walk in the parking lot, I promise you, go to 7-Eleven and come back, they will rip up. Forget about 7-Eleven. Go to the street and come back. The socks that we wear, they are khafifa. But there are ulama that say that these socks that we wear, you can wipe over them. And if you take that mas'ala, khair anta wa dhak. Walakin it is better al-khuruj min al-khilaf mustahab, the ulama, they say, to stay away from the khilafat of the ulama. It's better to wash your feet. Inshallah, ulama wa Shafi'i, they say that it is better. The same thing, though, the same hukum goes for shoes as well. We're just not talking about socks, any shoes that's above the ankles that are qawi, يمنع وصول الماء نفوذ الماء. Some of the ulama, they say if you pour water on top of it and there's no water seeping through it, then you are allowed, and if they're above the ankles. Inshallah, this is the ahkam that we will take today. Next week, inshallah, we will start with whatever breaks your wudu. هذا وبالله التوفيق وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
إلا